What's good, everybody? Israel, I'll come back at you on a video. So with this video, I wanted to share a very important idea that I need you to remember at all times. And that idea is this, that we are currently living in the greatest era in human history. Now, if you want to call this the golden era, the golden age, right? You can, because that is the truth, right? The reason why the era that we live in and the era that we're going to be living in is always pretty much going to be the best era is because the world has effectively globalized, right? Because of technology advancing, because of the internet, because of cell phones, right? It's like we are now connected as a people. We're both connected and disconnected, right? Of course, we're disconnected in the sense that for a lot of people, there's less human interaction. However, we are more connected because in this day and age, information flies instantly. It flies at the snap of a finger, right? Back then, way back then, like when I was a baby, a toddler, there were, super tiny TVs that existed in people's homes. But even before my time, TVs were never a thing. There were only newspapers, right? There was no internet. There was none of that. There was no cell phones. There was no phones. There was none of that, right? There was only newspapers. That's how people got their news back then. Then, of course, we eventually got televisions, which now pretty much everyone has a television. And now we have cell phones, which virtually everyone has a cell phone, right? We are in the digital age, the digital era, and it's never been easier for people to obtain wealth because everyone can get in contact with anyone, and anyone can get in contact with everyone, right? That is how the new world works. And what you need to understand is you can use that to your benefit, because there's an important concept that I'm also going to highlight here that I've highlighted in some of my previous videos. Is the idea with money, right? What you need to understand about money. Most people look at this and just see a physical paper, but you need to, if you want to acquire more of this and a lot of this, you need to understand what this is and what this actually means. What this represents is internal value, intrinsic value. This piece of paper represents what you as a person value on the inside, right? Because if I own a lot of this piece of paper, right, there's going to be times where I'm going to have to spend it, right? It's obvious, right? I'm human. What I spend this on will end up being spent on the things that I value, right? Perfect example. For me, I am willing to spend money on a book or courses, right? Because speaking for myself, I am passionate about personal development. I am passionate about growth. I am passionate about becoming the best version of myself. And I understand in order for me to continue becoming the best version of myself, I need to continue investing in myself. I need to continue reading. I need to continue learning, because I can always come across a new idea that can have me, ponder or reflect on my life and potentially change the beliefs that I previously used to operate with. A lot of those beliefs have been changed because I've come across new ideas that were better ideas. And so I decided to adopt those ideas and beliefs to become a new version, a better version of myself. So I understand that there's always going to be new levels that I can reach. There's always going to be new heights for me to arrive at, which is why I always want to continue learning. Previously, as a kid, I was never really too big of a fan of reading, but now where I'm at right now, when it comes to, if it's personal development books and personal development material, I am passionate about that, and I am willing to spend money, right, this piece of paper, on that because I value that. The same cannot be said for some other people, because I've heard other people say, if let's just say they had the option to purchase a $200 course or a $200 pair of sneakers, right? I've heard some people say, well, if I purchase a $200 course, it's just information and there's no guarantee that I'll actually learn anything or that I'll pick up on anything. There's no guarantee that it'll actually benefit me. And so I'm just going to spend the $200 on a pair of shoes because I know that I'm going to get something tangible, something like, material in return. And someone is willing to do that because they value a pair of shoes more than they value information, and potentially information that could change your life. That is what this means. This is what this represents, right? What you value, intrinsic value. So if you understand people, if you understand yourself and what you value, if you understand other people and what they value, then it becomes a lot easier to obtain this, right? And what people value, right? They value things that will improve the quality of their life. They value things that will make them happy, or or they value solutions to their problems, right? So those are ways to be able to obtain more of this, right? That's what people are looking for, right? Ultimately, they're looking for happiness, right? That's what it is. So if you combine the two, the idea that this simply represents value, and we live in the new digital age where everything's globalized, like everyone can reach anyone, because everyone has a cell phone, everyone can be contacted, or email, through YouTube, through social media, whatever it is. It's never been easier for you to be able to provide value to more people around the world, right? If I use another example, let's think of this for a second, right? Just imagine if you were a real estate agent, right? A realtor, and you were trying to sell homes. Back then, right? Before my time, back then, if you, in order for you to sell a home, right, you would have to put newspaper ads, and you would have to do house tours. Either you would have to do individual house tours every single time there's a family who might be interested in viewing the property. You can show them the property, or if there's, you could also do like host like a house tour event, where it's an event, you have like drinks, hors d'oeuvres, whatever, like appetizers, and you basically do an open house. So you invite a bunch of people, then they're able to browse the house together. But those were pretty much the only three options to sell a home, right? Because back then, the only true mode of spreading information quickly was through the newspaper. So either you get a newspaper ad, or you have to do everything in person. In today's era, in today's age, there are realtors who who get listed with $1 million properties to sell, and they would effectively hire a camera crew to do an entire tour of the luxury apartment or the luxury mansion. And these videos will end up getting thousands of views, tens of thousands of views, 100,000 of views, millions of views for these luxury apartments, right? Just think about it. A singular video for a luxury apartment can get millions of views. So millions of people around the world have seen that property digitally, right? They were to tour it digitally. Those are millions of people that you effectively were able to get in front of and showcase your product to, which is a million times faster, more effective than it used to be back then, when you have to show the property to one or two people at a time, or do an open house, and you have to hope that willing buyers were available to physically show up. Now I can pull up a YouTube video and see beautiful homes all around the world. If I'm looking to purchase a home, I can go online and look at amazing videos of homes from the comfort of my home, right? That's globalization. This is what I mean when I say that we live in a golden era, because in that case, right, you were able to reach so many more people than you were previously able to do back then, right? And it's no different with creating content, right? I understand that there's millions of people, tens, hundreds of millions of people who create content. However, your ability creating content, you have the ability to reach the masses. You have the ability to reach anyone at any corner of the globe, all walks of life, to showcase yourself and your talent, to be able to provide value to people all around the world, right? And this is the brand new opportunity that we have access to, that maybe our parents or our grandparents or the prior generations didn't have access to. Is this golden age, this era that we are in right now, right? So you have to be able to recognize the opportunity, recognize the times that you live in, recognize the opportunities, and be able to take advantage of that and capitalize on it, right? You can provide value to anyone and everyone, all walks of life, all across the globe, right? You can showcase your talent, showcase your ability. You can, you can even do videos like myself, where I'm just sharing a message that means something to people, because I'm passionate about this and I want to help people, and I want people to have a smile on their face. I want people to begin remembering who they really were, because a lot of folks have been sleepwalking their whole lives, not knowing who they've really been. And they might be feeling bad about themselves because they believe that they're capable of more, but they may not know it, right? That that's why I do my videos. And there's no better time to do these videos than right now, than in this age, because we have it the best, better than any of our previous generations have ever had it. So this is what I mean when I say we are currently living in the greatest era in human history, because the entire world is now globalized. Everyone is connected with one another because of the internet, because of cell phones. Like, I can literally FaceTime someone the other side of the world and speak with them. Something that has never happened back then, right? As a kid back then, the only time you ever heard of news happening on the other side of the world is because of newspapers or because of television, right? And not everyone had a television, but now virtually everyone has a television, and virtually everyone has a phone where they can get their any piece of news for anyone in the world. They can get it immediately at a snap of a finger on their devices, right? You can basically leverage that same technology and leverage it for yourself, for your business, for your brand, for whatever it is that you're trying to do for your music, right? It doesn't matter. You are living in the best time right now. And some people are either afraid to use it or are not truly capitalizing it because they're seeing so many other people win and they think that there's so much saturation, so much competition. It's like right now, even with all the saturation and competition, it's still better than how things used to be back then, right? You can still, if you're putting out content, right, it's like every single time a new person watches your videos, right, it's almost like you standing in front of someone in person, right? Like, and you don't have to physically be in front of someone anymore, right? Like, this is what I mean when I say that this is the best time that we've ever had, because now it's literally never been easier than it is now to be able to provide value to the masses and value to the world. And as you continue providing value to other people, as you continue, either solving other people's problems or providing them with a product or service that's going to make them happy or improving the quality of their life, then this will inevitably flow into your life, because this simply represents intrinsic value, internal value, and people value their problems being solved. People value happiness, right? And they value things that are going to make them happy. So if you can do more of that, then by default, right, wealth will have to flow to you. So I know this video was a combination of multiple different topics, but the underlying premise is that we are right now living in the golden age. So you can either use it to your advantage and use it to your benefit, or you can just waste this opportunity while we're here, right? Like, you are given pretty much the key, right, to take advantage of this all and to unlock this and to make the most of it and to have fun along the way and to create something great, to create something that will stand the test of time, right? To showcase yourself and your gift and what you're passionate about and what you do and your business with the rest of the world. You have that opportunity, and it's never been a better time than right now. So I'm highlighting it to you guys right now that we are living in the golden era. We are living in the golden age. There's never been a better time to be alive and to be part of the world, to make a difference in the world than now. So use this time wisely and take advantage of this for whatever it is that you decide to do, right? Take advantage of this and, just honestly strive to be the best and just do what you can to provide as much value as you can to everyone here on planet Earth, because everything, right? Literally everything we're all connected. The entire world is globalized, and that's something that hasn't been available previously back then. So it's never been easier in this age, in this era, to create wealth for yourself. So if that's something that's been lacking in your life and you want to pursue that and eventually, create more abundance for yourself, now is the best time to get started for that. So I wraps up the video. Enjoyed the video. Do leave a like and subscribe as we are on the road to a million subscriber, guys. So once again, it's Joel, and I'm out. I'll see you guys for the next video.